Hello and welcome to another edition of Droppin Baums with me, your host, Corey Baumeister. As always, brought to you by the lovely folks over at StarCityGames.com, bringing you the best in trading card needs and now online tournament needs. That's right, it is historic and I am preparing for SCG's Historic Championship #1 this weekend. Historic is a format that is widely unexplored, but with the Arena Open this weekend, as well as this SCG tournament, we're going to get a lot of focus, and we're going to get a lot of people trying a lot of new brews, including Temur Reclamation being the deck to beat right now. It is the deck that is abusing goblins, so it's a deck that I expect in high numbers, and a deck that plays Wilderness Reclamation and a lot of sorcery speed stuff. Mono Blue Tempo is a deck that historically has taken advantage of these strategies. If we look back to Mythic Championship 1 when one of our very own Autumn Burchett took that down. So I think, why can't the same be true now? So you can fast forward to any of the matches as well as go to the deck tech at the end. I do give away spoilers of how I did, as well as I talk about changes I would make. And there's a few of them, mostly to the sideboard here. Maybe you can guess what they are. But the games are really fun, really exciting. So without any further ado, welcome to round one. All right, and welcome to round number 1 here with Mono Blue Aggro here in Historic. A nice change of pace and a format that, well, we all got to start to learn because a lot of tournaments are leaning in the form of Historic. It's going to be a nice, fun change of pace. Let's see what's up. All right, so I definitely want to go first. Yeah, I mean, we got plenty of pirates here, so we can use Lookout. We can go Siren Storm Tamer and have the option of Cutthroat or a counter unless you pay 4 spells. So this seems like a keeper. We'll see what we're up against. All right, Storm Tamer. Okay. Breeding Pool. All right, give the beatdowns and we'll say go. Gonna be a lot of draw go. Okay, so I'm guessing this is Temur. Do I even play this? What kind of removal does Temur have? Like Scorching Dragonfires? That would kind of suck on this, but I think it's worth it just getting into play. So if they kill that, then they're not killing the Pteramander, and that could get big eventually. Well, that was kind of punishing. Ooh. Octopus. Well, they can't do anything crazy of that. I think we still wait till next turn, where we can back it up with Lookout Dispersal. So yeah, let's do that. Say go. Now we can mutate at instant speed, right? Yep, okay. None of them are human, so we can do that. You can just flash this into play, and that's totally reasonable as well. If our opponent's just trying to kill one of these creatures, I don't really care. Yeah, but I don't want to risk this, so we are going to untap. Attack. I'm really tempted to do it now. Yeah, but if they just have another Essence Scatter, it feels bad. So maybe I just mutate it at end step and then start getting it going by then. It's a little conservative, but we're gonna do it. It's going for the long game a little bit more. Playing it a little safe, maybe too safe though. All right, we'll see what they're doing here. So this is just Temur Reclamation. Gotta love that. Switch from standard to historic, same deck. All right. So let's mutate. We're gonna put it here. It's basically just another Curious Obsession. Counter target spell or ability. Yeah, I can just do this. Yeah, I think it's worth it. Oh. Oh no, that doesn't work. It's not an anti-counter spell. Okay, so we do gotta go like this. I think it's worth it. Okay. All right, well, that didn't work. That wasn't ideal. That's for sure. That was a decent draw, so we can actually just draw a card with this. This still adapts for a lot, so we're just going to attack and say go. Nickel and dime him here. And now we can draw a card with Spectral Sailor. That's pretty nice. Start the turn with 2 cards, the ability to keep drawing more cards. They're just trying to kill this. That is no big deal. We don't really care about either of these creatures right now. Okay. Wow, that's pretty good. Oh god. Well, luckily they didn't do it after we played this. We just couldn't have played it, but yeah, that is quite good. Alright. Blast Zone is a heck of a magic card, but so is Spectral Sailor. Okay. Alright. So let's just jam with this. Take action. That was awesome. Now we'll say go. Now the card we really just hate to see is just Shark Typhoon. There's just not much we can do about that card, which is unfortunate. 3/3 Shark, so we could just put this here, but that seems pretty bad. Could just play this. Or we could do nothing. We could draw a card. A lot of options. Lots of options. I think I either like drawing a card or just doing nothing. Hey, I'm just gonna draw a card. Okay. Yeah, just what do we do to Shark Typhoon here? Not much. But what do we do if we don't attack? We lose Curious Obsession already? Could draw a card to try to get like a Brazen Borrower. I think them playing a shark is like the one way we lose if we give away our Spectral Sailor. I think it's a disciplined play, but I'm going to not attack and be sad about it. Definitely could be wrong. Ugh, feels bad. But I do feel decently in control if I just keep going draw go, make them deal with Spectral Sailor, and then see what's up. But I could see them just not cycling it too, if they did have it. So I think this is reasonable. We're just gonna go draw go. I'll probably play the Octopus this time. All right, just gonna cast this Octopus. Okay. We have 2 counter unless you pay 4s. Don't know really what they could have. I'm giving them their reign, or giving them their time to do something here. I just want to get a Brazen Borrower and then I feel confident to attack. That's kind of the goal that I'm setting up here. And I could have played this game. Okay. That's reasonable, not the biggest deal. Okay, we're just going to attack. And just say go here because we have 8 mana and we can draw 2 cards. And I'm gonna do exactly that at least once. Now, do I care about an explosion for 3 on this? Kind of. Yeah, I kind of do at this point. So I'm actually just gonna untap. All right, I'm gonna attack. I have put him on Shark Typhoon from the beginning here, so it makes sense that we see one, of course, here. So, Petty Theft. Now, we hope they don't have another one. Okay, so I think we can safely play this. Yeah. We'll play this. We might draw a card. Because we can draw a card and actually counter a expansion explosion with Storm Tamer, which is quite strong. All right. Draw a card. All right, now I don't want to risk this again. So I'm just going to attack. Maybe I don't even attack with either. All right, I'll make them blink first. Shark Typhoon does make Mono Blue a lot worse. That is the one thing I was pretty afraid of. And it's turning out to be kind of true. Don't want these resolving. I will auto pay that. They're just trying to stop us from drawing an extra card, but I kind of already wanted to play Brazen anyways, so. Now, since we have, what, 11 mana, this is only 4, so I can just draw a card right now. Maybe I'll get a Curious Obsession or something. A little punish there, but we're just drawing cards with that anyways. All right, half your life, say go. Can cast both of these counter spells or just draw a card and play one of them. I will tap this. I'm just going for the win now. Okay, I think we can start by drawing a card. 8 mana, ooh. Now this guarantees lethal through an attempt at a removal spell, so we are actually gonna cast this. I'm gonna put it on Brazen. All right, bring him in. All right, Mono Blue Tempo is back. Let's go. And I mean, this is what beat Simic Nexus back in the day, was Mono Blue. Like, that's why Simic Nexus kind of had a decline for Mythic Championship 1. So it would make sense that this is good again. The only thing that's really changed is now we have sharks to deal with, and sharks are a big problem. I will not deny that in any way, shape, or form. Aether Gust is pretty good. I want to avoid some of these 1-drops. And I think Scary Terry is the weakest of them all. Rewind is a little weak as well, just because it's a 4-mana blue spell. So I think I'm going to cut that. And I guess just a couple Aether Gusts. You don't want to change too much here. I think I'm fine with this. I might even want just a 4th Brazen Borrower for this matchup, because it seems just like in Standard, that's the main reason for wanting Brazen Borrower, is just to deal with Shark Typhoon tokens, and they also can bounce Wilderness Reclamation, and that is useful at times. It's not great, but I'm going to keep. Okay. Trying to dispute us right away. I'll just say go. I'll play this now, because if they have Growth Spyro on dispute, yeah. Okay, I will play Scary Terry with Dispute backup, and then try to Obsession it next turn and kind of go the distance with that. That's the dream. A little early for the game to be revolving around Sailor, so I think I'm okay with that dying. All right, now let's go like this. Hope this all resolves. Go, go, go! Bang. All right. Let the Curious Obsessions begin. God, I love this card. Okay, your go. Now we do only have one counterspell backup here. So if they just go land and have Shark for 2, you know, this sucks. Because it's a removal spell that they draw a card, which is quite the tilt. But if they just go for like Wilderness Reclamation or something, you know, then we just feel great. Alright, well, we have no choice because we would lose Curious Obsession anyways, so we're gonna go for it. Don't do it to me. No! They always do it to me. Okay, that sucks. This is Mono Blue's Bane of Existence, Flying Sharks. Alright, I'm gonna just play this right now so it can't get countered. Now I got a couple counter spells to hold it back, and we're just gonna play the Sailor game again. Okay. No attacks, your go. Not risking the shark. Growth Spiral. Kind of want to use Dispute because it gets so much worse. But it's also the only 1 mana counter spell we have. I think I gotta let this resolve. Well, that's not gonna resolve. I think we'll go like this. Lofty Denial. Can't believe they cycled that. That seems really wrong to me. Hopefully we can punish them. It's not bad. Just being able to draw a card with holding up Dispute here is pretty good if they have Expansion Explosion. I think they're understanding they have to jam a little bit more, because this card did take over last game, and I think it'll do it again, hopefully, but that sucked. Okay, that's very good, though, and that was also good, so we'll say go. Cutthroat. I think I want to go after this. Gross. Gross. Not too much we could do about that. Okay. Well, that's gonna be a problem. We've been ambushed. Alright, I am gonna mutate this onto the flyer. Yeah, that sucks. That was a good draw. Don't really want to play either of these. At least they don't get their wolf. Okay. I really want them to start playing stuff on their turn. Because I cannot block either of these. Ugh. This game has turned south real quickly. Play something, you chicken. All right, at least that's not bad. Actually, that was great. Okay. So now I'm gonna set some stops. Okay, so I can bounce. I could just bounce a wolf. I don't think bouncing the ambusher actually accomplishes anything, so let's do that. Bounce. And if they try to fight over this, we just get to go crazy in a counter war and then get this cutthroat gigantic. Yeah, okay. So we could just sack this as well. Or we could just try to get it bigger. I think we'll have to sacrifice it. Counter this. Now we hope whatever spell they play is blue, so we can counter unless they pay 6. Otherwise we just have counter unless they pay 4. They have 7 available. So I do just want to fire off some of these disputes though. Just so this cutthroat's big enough. Yep. Alright. At least we got a giant cutthroat. But no brazen bar, no air assault anymore, so not looking great. I will be honest. Okay, block 1. No flyer, so this is only counter unless you pay 1. Curious Obsession. Doesn't do enough right now, so I can't cast that until we get a flyer. I don't know if this chump attacking plan is really that effective, but... Come on, let's draw a flyer. There we go, that's good. No attacks. Gonna block 1. Bounce the other. Okay. Try to set a stop, okay. A counter war you want, eh? 2, 3, 4, okay. I think I can win this counter war. So let's go like this. Dispersal again. I guess I probably can't win this counter war because I bet they will have a... Oh, okay. Okay. So, now the question is, do we want to get in there and Curious Obsession this? I mean, they're just going to chump and kind of get that going, so that doesn't solve a lot. I think I still attack. But I don't think I Curious Obsession it. That's scary. Looks like they might be going for the win then. We're gonna play Brazen. Okay. Now we just go for it, right? I guess they could have Shark Typhoon. Yeah, Shark Typhoon is the scariest, but they already had 2. They usually play like 3. I kind of think more they have an Expansion Explosion, but I don't think I can beat a Shark Typhoon anyways. So with not being able to beat it anyways, do I just jam? All right. All right. All that thinking for nothing. Just absolutely dead. Okay, well that was not an easy round number 1, but we succeeded on the power of Brazen Borrower to be able to deal with those sharks. Temur Reclamation is what the deck of the talk of the town, I should say, when it comes to what Historic is becoming. I know, I want to vomit too just thinking of that. But you know what? If we're going to be playing the Arena Open this weekend, and we're going to be playing the SCG Standard Championship Qualifier number 1 with Historic this weekend, we better be ready to play against Temur Reclamation. And I think Mono Blue has the tools to do it. We're going to find out more in round number 2, coming right at you. See you soon. All right, and welcome to round number 2 here with Mono Blue Tempo. We are on the play, which is exactly what you want from this deck. And I think this is good enough. I'm going to actually just play my Spectral Sailor right away, just because I don't want to get it Mystical Disputed. Looks like our opponent just took a mulligan. But we got the Curious Obsession, so let's go. Now there is a small chance that we just go like Sailor or something next turn. Yeah, now we're just going to protect with the Cutthroat first, and then we'll go Curious Obsession with the Lofty Denial to protect it. All about sequencing when it comes to Mono Blue here. Search for Escamta. That's okay. All right, I think we want to just strap up the Sailor since we have another one. Bang. Draw. Perfect draw, say go. Access to rewind next turn and then actually just draw again. All right, looks like we got Jeskai control. I would think any kind of control deck we should be advantaged against, but you never know. No thank you for that. Okay, now let's get on in there. Mono Blue just plays a beautiful game when you get to tempo him out here because you know what? I guess it is a tempo deck. So I wonder, in this bomb, we should keep track of how many times I say the word tempo because I bet it's a lot. Rewind! Error, they're just dead. Whoops. Whoopsies. Easy game. Bring in Spell Pierces, bring in Negates. That's all we want. Now what to bring out? I think Pteramander is one of the weaker cards. Brazen Borrower, I bet, is not great either. So I think we can trim on that. Maybe even take out all of them. Yeah, I actually think Pteramander is better than Brazen in this matchup. So let's give that a shot. Brazen Borrower is really for Shark Typhoons. If we see Jeskai Control has some Shark Typhoons, we're going to bring them back in because that card just single-handedly wrecks us. Because we don't really have any ways to interact with it. But I wouldn't assume a Jeskai Control deck just jams in Shark Typhoons, but I mean, I would. So we'll see. Okay. I think we're gonna keep it off the power of this card. Scary Terry. All right, I'll play one with that Spell Pierce. No justice will be served. Now, even if they do kill our creature, the Curious Obsession already redrew for itself, and we have another, so like it's not that bad if they just go land Clarion or whatever. Mind Stone? That's not a Clarion. Hooray! Okay, well, now we're just going to town. Now we just do everything to protect this, and that's our only order of business. Oh, this deck just brings me back to Mythic Championship 1, where I played Mono Blue Aggro and where Autumn won, and just one of the happier tournaments because I love this deck, and it was especially good there because people were not prepared for it. I'm gonna do everything in my power to protect this. They could have a 3/3 shark, which would suck. All right, or they're just dead. Take action, take action. So I'd have to discard, but I think that's okay. Discard one of these extra lands. Just leaving up essentially 3 counter spells. I mean, they're just dead. Good game, yep, exactly. All right, I'm starting to like Mono Blue. Now, one matchup I am very afraid of, and it's the talk of the town and historic, is the Mono Red Goblin deck. So I'm really hoping to fade that, but as of right now, any blue deck that doesn't draw a ton of Shark Typhoons seems like quite a good matchup. So let's stick around for our third and final match, and let's see if we can get that perfect Droppin Baums sweep. See you soon. And welcome to our third and final round here with Mono Blue Tempo on the play again. I think I'm destined to play this deck if I can win the die roll every time. It's a huge play when it comes to, well, a tempo deck. Going first, being able to be the first one to play the Curious Obsession and protect it is usually gonna be ideal here. All right, I think I can keep. It's not insane. We don't have those Curious Obsession draws, but if Brazen Borrower is gonna be good, it's gonna be a strong hand. This is a pretty quick clock as well, so we'll say our hellos. That's no good unless they give us something to bounce this turn. Give us something to bounce. Blue, white, eh? All right. I will attack. Say go. Okay, Golos it looks like. Play a little Brazy Bee. Play a little Storm Tamer. This might be a quick game. We're giving the beat downs. Just gotta protect against a Wrath. Yeah, I mean, this deck is just so slow. Do I even care about this? What if I just play Brazen Borrower? They can bounce something, but sure, we're just gonna attack it back. Yeah, I'm in. You can have it. Draw your card. We just have too many creatures where this Teferi is not very threatening. It would have been very threatening on turn 3, and we would have countered it then, but now, not a big deal. Bang. All right, we'll say go 6, 7, 8, 5. This cost 8. Okay, so we can't really present lethal next turn, so we do got to be a little particular with what we counter. That's a pretty solid counter. Now the real question is, do we play this? Five. I think we do. We can either draw a counter spell, or, you know, they don't have another shatter, or we draw another flash threat like that. Oh, that was great, because now even if they have shatter, we have the 2 extra damage here. So that was basically the ideal draw outside of a counter spell like a rewind or something. All right, deal with it. Shatter would be good. Golos. Yeah, not enough. All right, Golos winning game 1 here. How do we want to approach this matchup? Melody? No thank you. Negate? Probably. Essence Capture? Pretty narrow. Aether Gust? Pretty bad when they have Teferis. Spell Pierce? Probably to stop their ramp. I like it, I like it, I like it a lot. Brazen Borrower is the one I'm questioning because the clock is not that fast. Same with Spectral Sailor. I'm for sure going to trim here because the game is just not about going super long because they win the long game with Field of the Dead. Just an uninteractable threat. So I actually kind of like Brazen Borrower. I'm going to leave some. I mean, I like it enough where I just want to keep some. Normally, I would just want to get rid of all of them in this matchup. Yeah, we'll go a little like this, a little spread of stuff. Brian Burns Cutthroat is probably like our best card outside of Curious Obsession because that's always our best card. But it just presents such a fast clock that is usually what you want to start with and kind of prioritize in your hand. We do have it. And we got Curious Obsessions. If we can draw some lands, we're on the draw. We have a way to counter like a Growth Spiral. I'm going to keep. This is a high risk, but we can either draw a 1-drop or a land and we're feeling pretty good. That was neither. I'm gonna hold my breath. All right, we're feeling good now. Now we just gotta play very carefully, make sure this doesn't die. All right, so I kind of just want to lawfully denial this. Okay, now I hope they go Teferi again and we can go Cutthroat, Dispute, Curious Obsession it up, and have Lawfully Denial. That would be spicy. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Let's hope they do not have a Mystical Dispute. I don't believe they do. Okay. Oh, that was good. Okay, so I think we can only play one here. Bang. All right, your go. This might be the fastest dropping bombs ever. Oh my God, they're so dead. All right, Lawfully Denial. All right, Curious Obsession. Bang. I'd like to draw one land to have 2 counters available. Yes. Yes. Uh-oh. All right, only 1 counter spell. Yeah! Okay, don't have another one. Okay. Yes. All right, so. Yes, okay. Whenever you play against blue decks, apparently, it is just easy game. Holy cow, did we do some dunking on this week's Droppin Baums. Stick around, we're gonna talk about some of the specific card choices here in the Deck Tech. Don't go anywhere. All right, and welcome to the Deck Tech here with Mono Blue Tempo. A deck that I actually think is pretty well positioned and horrifically positioned all at the same time. Now, I know what you're thinking, that's probably the dumbest thing you've ever heard, at least today. But what I mean by that is this Mono Blue deck with this many counter spells, I think is advantaged against Temur Reclamation because Mono Blue popped up back in Mythic Championship 1 when one of our very own Autumn Burchett took down that Mythic Championship. The reason being is they act on basically on their turn. You know, playing Wilderness Reclamation is a very key part of their game plan. Now they do have new tools, Uro, Expansion Explosion, make the deck a little bit differently. But all those cards still get hit by Mystical Dispute, as well as Curious Obsession is just still excellent against them. Oh, excuse me. The one problem that these decks have now that is a huge problem is Shark Typhoon. That is a card that didn't exist back then and gives Temur Reclamation a lot more reach against this deck. I mean, pun intended, because it has flying. So it makes it a little bit different there, but I mean, we saw it in the match here, and I actually destroyed Temur Reclamation off camera, but it was such a bad beating and they mulliganed multiple times that I didn't even show that match. But I actually 4-0'd with this deck, but that match was so bad that it was over in like a minute, 2 minutes, and they mulliganed. So I figured I would spare you from watching that and recorded a different one. But honestly, we just kind of smashed everybody, and the Temur Rec player that we beat on camera here maybe made some mistakes, some minor mistakes here and there, but nothing too crazy. Maybe needed to get a little bit more aggressive with their ambushers and probably could have closed the game. But, it felt good. And then the other 2 blue matches we played against Jeskai Control, and the last match there, it just wasn't even remotely close. It just wasn't close at all. So I think this deck is decently positioned, but where I think it's horrifically positioned is up against Goblins. I haven't played Goblins with this deck yet, but I'm just assuming it's got to be bad. Now, we do have a lot of counters to deal with Muxus. The very powerful 6-drop that is taking the historic world by storm. But I still think it's just too bad because they just out-aggro us pretty quickly. We have Entrancing Melodies and Essence Captures and Aether Gusts in the board to really change the dynamic of our deck, and maybe that's good enough, but I don't think it is. I really don't think it's going to be good enough. Maybe we need something like Tempest Djinn to have that over-the-top effect, but I also think that card isn't great either. So it's a toss-up. If we're expecting basically mono Goblins, which I'm not, because Temur Reclamation is so good against the Goblin deck, I'm expecting Goblins to have a little bit of a decline for the weekend's tournaments. We have the Arena Open, we have the SCG Standard Historic Championship event, and I don't expect a ton of Goblins just for that fact that I think Temur Reclamation is going to be running rampant. With that being the case, it might be the perfect time to sleeve up a mono blue deck like this. I made some changes to one of the popular lists that I saw that did well in a recent historic tournament. And let's talk about the specific cards. So for Curious Obsession, that's the reason to play the deck. I mean, honestly, it's that powerful. It's the reason why we don't see mono blue in the metagame anymore. Most of these cards are still around that we could be playing in standard, but without Curious Obsession, you don't have that long game reach. You don't have that very powerful turn 1, turn 2 plays. So I think that is the main reason why this deck works in historic, and we don't have the tools to beat Temur Reclamation with it in standard. Also, Temur Reclamation in standard is maxing out on Shark Typhoons no matter what. Temur Reclamation in historic, I've seen like 3 in most lists, and it's probably going to go up to 4. But I think this first weekend might be the weekend to catch people off surprise or off balance and just play a mono blue tempo list. And then, who knows? Let's say I win this tournament this weekend with mono blue. Maybe then, 4 Shark Typhoons become stock, maybe a little bit more hate cards in the board, and then it's not so good. This is kind of a deck that is similar to like Dredge for me, where if it's really, really good, people can find ways to beat it. And there is also an amazing new tool against the deck that we also get to play, and that's Mystical Dispute. It's of course insane against us. So that's a little bit of the changes from when it was dominant in Mythic Championship 1 versus now. The rest of the deck is pretty stock and pretty streamlined. 4 Terramander, 4 Siren Storm Tamer, 4 Spectral Sailor. You need a lot of 1-drops when you have this many Curious Obsessions or C-Octopus another Curious Obsession-like effect. A little bit more risky because you get 2 for 1. I mean, I guess you get 2 for 1 with Curious Obsession. So essentially it is the exact same thing now that I think about it. So forget I said that. But it is just a 5th, 6th, and 7th Curious Obsession that has a little bit more versatility because it can just be a creature you play. We'll get to our counterspell sweep here. Lofty Denial is a new toy. Lookout Dispersal, Mystical Dispute, Rewind. These are our counterspells. Lofty Denial and Lookout Dispersal are just better mana leaks 95% of the time because we have so many 1-drop flyers or pirates. Our Cutthroat is a pirate, which works with Lookout Dispersal as well. But basically, they're just better mana leaks, and we know how good mana leak is, even in Modern. So there's no reason why it can't be good here. Then we got Brian Bowden Cutthroat, just our big body, essentially. I know it starts as a 2-1, but it gets carried away pretty quickly. I'm interested in Tempest Jin, cutting the Castle Vantress, and playing around with Tempest Jin a little bit, but I don't think it would be that good. So that's just in the back burner of the brain to maybe try a little later when I, realistically, this was today I started playing the deck. Played a lot before I recorded, or played a decent amount, I should say. And this is just the initial iteration. As far as changes I would make, I think I want to get rid of some Gus. Actually, let me get to that in a second. Let me finish the main deck here. 3 Brazen Borrower as well. This is the main thing I want against Shark Typhoon. I for sure want to add a 4th. For sure, I want a 4th in there just in case we play against it. And what to cut for that? I'm thinking I want to cut a Scary Terry or Rewind. I'm not positive on that, or Sea Dasher Octopus. I'm leaning on Terramander just because I think it's the worst one. Spectral Sailor can just absolutely go bonkers here, so I really like that one. So I think that would be the only main deck change I would make because I think Brazen Borrower is that important. You know what? I could also see the Brazen Borrower going into the sideboard in the spot of Aether Gust. So let's go to the sideboard and talk about this here. We got 2 Spell Pierce, bringing in against any non-creature deck, as well as negates Aether Gust in small numbers if you're playing against Temur Reclamation, and if they have like Night Pack Ambushers and stuff like that that you want to deal with. Open Decklist Tournament for the SCG, you'll be able to actually know. If you're playing the Arena Open, a little bit more of a guess, but I believe in you. Now the changes I would make, I would cut an Aether Gust for sure for a Brazen Borrower. I think I want to cut 2 Aether Gust for a Brazen Borrower and the 4th Mystical Dispute. Those are the only changes I want to make to the deck. But then we got 3 Essence Captures for our aggressive decks. Very good against Goblins, I'm hoping. Turn 1 Creature, turn 2 Essence Capture, turn 3 Curious Obsession. Now we got a clock. Start defending, start countering every creature. Speaking of creature matchups, we also want Entrancing Melody. Pretty decent against Goblin. Turn 3 to steal a 1-drop is not ideal, but it is something to catch you up. And be able to steal your opponent's attackers and then block with them. So essentially a 2-for-1 in best case scenario. And then, Aether Gust against Goblins as well. And then any green deck or any red Gruul-based aggro deck, something like that. Use Aether Gust at your discretion. Basically, whenever you really want to take out a card and it has targets, but it's not insane. That's kind of why I want to go down on it, just because it doesn't seem absolutely busted to me. But in a metagame filled with Growth Spiral and blue decks, and especially a metagame that is going to be very, very new this coming up weekend, a very proactive deck like Mono Blue, I could easily see being a very good week 1 choice, and I think it's what I'm going to be playing. Don't tell anyone, okay? But we will see when it comes to the weekend. Time will tell. This is Monday when I record this. Plenty of time to do some testing. But I would love to hear what you think of this Mono Blue aggro deck. Leave your response in the comments. Maybe test it out. Let me know what you think of it. So I want to thank you so much for watching this week's Droppin Bombs, and we will see you next week for some more magical action. Bye-bye.